And welcome back to my cozy corner of the internet. I'm Maya Star, and today we have another unscripted video where we'll be discussing energy healing, the violet flame, alchemy, and the ascended masters. As usual, I come armed with notes, but this will be an unstructured video where we just meander around the subject and pursue the scenic route towards enlightenment. So if it sounds good to you, stick around and let's see what the universe has in store for us. I've actually just finished recording the energy update that will be going out on Monday. So I'm feeling very positive because the energy in that reading was extremely positive. Lots of wands energy, which really suggests that things are happening. A lot of things are happening, a lot of positive changes and growth for people in general, but also for the planet, because when we check in with the energy updates, we're talking about subtle energies that impact everything. The entire energetic ecosystem is affected by these currents. So it's great to see those positive energies coming through, and it really feels like a lot of good things will be coming our way. So look out for that reading on Monday. It could have some important guidance for you this week if that's something you're looking to do, work towards growth and development and achieving more. Expansion would be a better word, perhaps. If you're working towards that sort of energy, check out the reading on Monday. Set a reminder, in fact, you don't want to miss it. Okay, so the violet flame of Saint Germain. We're covering that today because this week's special offer will be for the violet flame of Saint Germain, which is an energy attunement course that I've been teaching since 2004. It was one of the earliest courses that I provided. I think it was the second, in fact, with Usui Reiki being the first. So it's one of my most popular attunement courses, and it's one of those energies that I feel is really essential for energy healers, especially when they're working with clients, in order to clear the energy of the space afterwards. It's something that's very important so that the debris that gets cleared naturally during an energy healing session doesn't settle into the space and build up. The violet flame is great for clearing that kind of energy within your space, but also within your energy field. So it's very versatile, as most energy healing modalities are, and it's one that you can easily use when you're out and about in the world, because it can be accessed via visualization and the use of affirmations or decrees. That's a traditional way to use it, and it's a very high frequency energy, so it's very good if you're progressing your spiritual path and working towards your awakening. This energy really supports the ascension journey because it's connected with alchemy, and the process of alchemy is the process of achieving enlightenment, which we also call the great work or self-realization. So if that sounds like something that would benefit you, you may want to, after you finish watching this video, check out the links below and read more about it on the Maya Star website. So the first thing that we're going to cover is the association of this energy with the alchemist Saint Germain. Saint Germain is a mysterious character, and some people think he didn't exist at all, but other people think he was just a charlatan and he spun a good tale. But Others really think he was a powerful magician, and through his alchemical practice, he was able to achieve the Philosopher's Stone and the Elixir of Life, and that he essentially lives forever and is still present in the world today. I have to admit, I haven't met him, and I don't think of him as being a physically incarnate person. I do work with him as an ascended master, and I perceive him as an energetic being. And he's extremely friendly. I think that may be why light workers and energy healers are particularly drawn to Saint Germain, is he has a very friendly disposition, quite charming actually. And as a historical character, he was associated with European royalty, and he was connected with the French court back in the 1700s, I believe, and then later with the Russians, and then later again with the French and with Marie Antoinette. So he has quite a colourful history, and whether you believe it or not, it's an interesting tale, and I cover that in the course manual, so I hope that will bring you some inspiration on your path. But a lot of people think of an alchemist as being somebody who can turn base metals into gold, and there's an idea there that perhaps they are just trying to make money. But in fact, the process of alchemy is about refining the spirit, and the rituals that they perform in their laboratories are part of their spiritual practice. So your spiritual practice really can look like anything. It's the intention that you bring to it that makes the difference. But that's another thing that you may want to reflect on. Your spiritual practice needs to encompass the things that mean something to you, what's important to you, and what inspires you and gets you out of bed in the morning, where you feel like you're really putting your energy into something. For me, I find that dance is particularly important to me in that capacity, but also writing, especially writing poetry, I find a very spiritual practice. But even physically cleaning your house can be a powerful spiritual practice. It really just depends on the intention you're bringing to it. So I'm not suggesting everybody go out and buy a load of test tubes and things to see if they can become an alchemist, but it's worth reflecting on the fact that it's in those mundane tasks, it's in those rituals and habits of life that you're able to access your spiritual potential. And it's a case of being consistent and focused on your ultimate goal, which, when it comes to the great work or self-realization, or as most people call it today, spiritual awakening, we're talking about raising our consciousness beyond the limitations of the ego and feeling the inspiration of our divine aspects, so that we can bring those into our lives and act on them. We can ground the spirit into our reality and express it in new ways. And then our lives become a process of refining that connection, but also of expressing your soul. And every part of your life can be understood as sacred when you're connected to that higher level of consciousness. So Saint Germain is a very important ascended master for those who are seeking spiritual enlightenment, he's a great support and he's a great model to follow because he's been there and he became an ascended master through his spiritual practice and through his dedication to the process. Now, in this unstructured form, in order to not repeat myself too much, I thought I might get to the questions earlier in this video, because otherwise I end up talking and answering the questions before I've even got to them. So, let's see, where's the first one? Okay, the first question is, can the violet flame be used to open my third eye? And the answer to this is essentially yes, but I wouldn't recommend only focusing on the third eye. I would use the violet flame for a full body healing session rather than just focusing on one energy center, because you don't want to create an imbalance. But another way that you could amplify that effect, specifically for developing your intuition, with opening your third eye is about developing your intuition, gaining access to the spiritual realms so that you're able to perceive them. I've mentioned it before, but the third eye is not all about seeing. It's about perception, and in the Avalonian tradition it is called the star of perception. So you can also open the third eye or activate the third eye center with the intention of being able to perceive auras or being able to connect with the spirits when you're out in nature, the fairies and elementals, for example. You're just increasing your awareness rather than being able to have psychic visions or something like that. It's the opening your third eye may allow you to access psychic visions, but it may not. Your special skills will be realized in their own time. So allow things to unfold naturally. Don't try to force things in one direction, because you might end up missing out on your true gift while you're pursuing something that's not actually meant for you. So another way that I would say activating the third eye using the violet flame could be done, rather than just using the energy with the visualization techniques that are described in the manual, would be to charge a crystal with the violet flame energy. And good crystals for this would be amethyst or clear quartz. And clear quartz is a full spectrum stone, so it can amplify the effect of any energy. So that's one that you should always have around you if you want to work with different energies at different times. Clear quartz is the most versatile stone, but amethyst is excellent for the violet flame. And a good way to work with the third eye would be to use the violet flame to charge the crystal, and then during your meditation sessions hold the crystal over your third eye, or sleep with it under your pillow in order to encourage meaningful dreams and to allow you to remember those dreams and bring any guidance through to normal consciousness so that you can integrate it and act on it. There are actually some articles on this channel and podcast that I'd recommend that you check out as well if you're interested in learning more about activating your third eye and using the violet flame. There's 5 ways to use the violet flame. There's a meditation video as well with an affirmation, which is one of the Mantra Waves meditation tracks. You can find a playlist for the Mantra Waves meditation tracks where they all have positive affirmations for you to listen to throughout the day. And the violet flame one is "By the light of the violet flame I ascend." So that would be a useful meditation to use whilst working with this energy. And of course I'll be bringing out a new track in the next couple of days, although it will probably already be available on the Lives tab on the YouTube channel, and possibly already available on Spotify and wherever you listen to your music. So check that out. But yes, I'll be bringing out a new track with light language codes, which allows you to connect with that vibration by listening to the music. And if you're attuned to it, that can amplify the effect of the energy and provide you with another way to connect with it. So if you regularly listen to the meditation tracks while you're doing your energy work with specific vibrations, so if you always listen to the violet flame track when working with the violet flame, then in future, after a while, you would be able to put that track on and easily reconnect with that energy. So it's just another way that if you're attuned to it, you can connect with your energy healing practice. But you don't have to be practicing energy healing to enjoy the meditation. You would get more from it if you were attuned, of course. But it allows you to experience those frequencies, and then you can see if that's an energy you would like to explore further in other contexts. Did I just go off topic a bit? I may have done. Let's get back to the next question. The next question is from somebody who was inquiring about the course, and they have said, can I use the decrees set out by Elizabeth Clare Prophet when working with the violet flame attunement? And the answer is yes, it is the same energy. You're working with the exact same current. We call it the 7th ray, and the rays of light combine to form pure white light, which is the energy we call the universal life force. And then that's broken down into different rays that we can tap into for more specific vibrations. And they are aligned with the 7 main energy centers of the body. So the violet flame is actually associated with the crown chakra, which is at the top of the head. And usually the color of this energy is violet, but sometimes it's violet with gold, and that's more often associated with Saint Germain if the energy is violet and gold, whereas sometimes it's depicted as violet and silver, and then it's more likely to be associated with the goddess Kuan Yin. But yes, the decrees as set out by Elizabeth Clare Prophet are very powerful. Now, essentially, when we say decrees, we're talking about affirmations, and you're just making statements of intent. Putting that intention out into the world is a magical act. If you just say the words but you don't feel anything, it's not going to have the same effect. The point is to achieve a meditative state and then recite the decrees so that you are very much aligned with the words that are coming out of your mouth, or that you're writing down. You don't have to be saying them out loud, but it is all about intention and the energy that you're putting into it. So the violet flame can be a great way to start a session like that. You could do your usual morning meditation And then afterwards, bring in the violet flame energy for a short healing session, and then follow that up by reciting your decrees with intention and purpose and power before grounding yourself. So that would be a very comprehensive morning routine. You could do it in the evening, actually. There's no special reason you would be doing that in the morning. You could do that morning or night, or both. But it would be a really good way to include your meditation, visualization practice, affirmations, and grounding in one session. And once you get used to how the energy flows, and you're much more used to how you would complete each of those parts, it only need take you about 20 minutes a day. So that's something to consider. It would build into your spiritual practice very well if you wanted to bring in the violet flame and use affirmations with it. And let's turn to the final question for today. This question is from somebody who was experiencing poltergeist activity within their home, with doors opening and shutting on their own, and noises being heard overnight of things moving around. And it took place after somebody had been ill in the property, and after somebody who had been quite troubled had moved out of the property. And so they felt that perhaps there was a negative attachment to the property itself that had been left behind from that person. Now, it could have been from that person, and it doesn't matter if it was from that person or where it came from. It literally just could be one of those things, because these things can happen from time to time. And if there's low energy in a property, or negative energy, troubled energy in a property, then it is going to be more appealing to certain types of spirits. And usually they will just pass through. But if the energy within the property isn't cleared, they might linger a bit more. So yes, the violet flame would be a good option for clearing this sort of energy. Now, I can't guarantee it would be successful, because it really would depend on the type of spirit that you had attached to the property, but it would certainly be a powerful way to clear the energy within the home and to protect the space. And it's very simple to use. When you get used to using this energy, especially if you're used to using it with the visualization techniques, it's easy to visualize sort of just the energy rotating around your home and clearing out any negativity, transmuting any low vibrations into higher vibrations, and keeping the energy flowing properly so that it doesn't get stagnant in corners, and so you don't end up with a build-up of energetic debris in every corner. So this would be an excellent system to deal with those sorts of problems that attract negative spirits or elemental beings that just are drawn to that energy. I mean, it may be having a negative effect on you if there's negative energy within the home, but not all beings will perceive it as negative. So other beings could be drawn to it, and it's not out of any malicious intent, and it's not in any way intended to harm you, but it can happen. Obviously, I provide spell casting services and rituals to help with those kinds of situations. But if you want to help yourself, then the violet flame would be a good option. There's also negative entities clearing Reiki, Dark Moon Mother protection, Goddess Diana's Mirror Shield activation, Light Sanctuary activation, Protection Healing Orb, and I would say the Elemental Pentagram and Magic Circle Empowerment would be a good option as well for developing your own rituals, for creating a circle and then banishing the circle. That simple ritual can be a powerful way of banishing negative energy if it's within the property. So it is more of a complicated ritual, which can be helpful for some people in the beginning, especially if you're not very sensitive to subtle energy. If you can't experience it, so you're not entirely convinced it's there, sometimes a system that has more structure can help you to build your confidence. It allows you to focus on the task at hand, so you maintain your intention throughout, instead of letting doubts creep in, thinking, is this really working? I can't feel anything. Like, it can be a really important starting point, those structured systems. So if you're really new to energy work and you do find a lot of doubts creeping in, systems I would recommend are Usui Shiki Ryoho Reiki, that's traditional Usui Reiki, and the Avalonian Trilogy, which is the Avalonian Alignment Program, Star of Avalon Ascension, and Avalonian Spectral Activations, and the Elemental Pentagram and Magic Circle Empowerments, which would all actually combine very well together, but they are all very structured. And if you're just starting out and you are very much plagued with doubts, those would be great foundation courses for you to start out with and build upon. As you gain more confidence, it takes a little while to develop your confidence, but it comes with time and consistency, so keep up the good work. Now let me make sure I haven't missed anything, because I feel like I've done everything in a funny order today, and I didn't mention the scarf situation. Actually, that is something I wanted to talk about, but I'm not going to have time in this video, so I may have to bring up the scarf situation next week. If I don't bring up the scarf situation next week, remind me, because I had some important things to tell you about my scarf collection. It's quite extensive. It's very important, my scarf collection. I love scarves, they're so versatile. I plan to cover that next week. Oh yeah, I mentioned that there are a few articles on this channel or podcast that might interest you if you want to know more about the violet flame. I would also say that there are articles on the Maya Star website that haven't been converted into videos yet. So do take a look on the Maya Star website, mayastar.net, and go to the articles menu, where I've got a lot of information for spiritual seekers, energy healers, light workers, indigo children, star seeds. There's all kinds of stuff about light language, ascended masters, energy healing work, spiritual ascension, rituals, developing your own rituals, inner child healing, your philosophy, new age philosophy, and lots of resources there to help support you on your spiritual path, and also lots of courses that can help to amplify different energetic frequencies and allow you to express them more, awaken them within your energy field so that you resonate with them more and are able to utilize them for healing, magic, or simply to enhance your spiritual practice, whatever it looks like. Energy healing, as I always say, it combines well with other modalities. It's very versatile. And once you're used to the visualization techniques and that kind of thing, you can very, very easily bring your energy healing practice into your day-to-day life and make it part of your life rather than keeping your spiritual practice separate from everything else you do. And that's always my intention. I want you to be able to use these energies, not to learn about them and then just go about your life without actually using them. I have found energy healing practices extremely powerful in my own life. It's something that I use every single day, and it's life-changing. Some of the techniques can take a little while to get used to and to develop. For example, if you were learning Usui Reiki, so you had to learn to visualize the symbols, you're increasing your capacity to visualize other things too. You're developing a skill, and then when you move on to another energy healing system, you're bringing skills with you that will enable you to work with that energy more efficiently and get into it a lot quicker. So everything that you do builds upon what you've already learned. You keep progressing. So I hope that will inspire you to keep going with your good works. And I also wanted to say thank you for the couple of very kind and generous people who have made donations to me and my channel. That was a really nice surprise for me. And that's everything we had to cover today, and that brings us to the end of our journey this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, whenever you're listening to this. And I hope you've enjoyed this little talk. I hope it's brought you some inspiration, given you something to think about, given you a little time out. Hope you enjoyed the background music as well. That's one of mine. Have a look around. I've got music everywhere. Yeah, check out the new releases on Spotify and YouTube Music, Amazon, iTunes. Make sure you follow me on those apps. Make sure you follow the podcast as well. And I hope you'll be back again for some more mystical musings and magical meanderings. And in the meantime, I hope you have a fabulous week, and I wish you peace, prosperity, and progress in all you do. With blessings.